Hello everyone, welcome to another chapter of Node.js. In the previous chapter, we discussed the introduction and getting started with Node.js. In this chapter, we will discuss about built-in modules in Node.js with some examples. So, as you can see, Node.js comes with a collection of built-in modules that allow you to interact with various features of operating system, network and file system without the need of additional libraries. So this is very important thing because it can interact with features of operating system, network and file system. That means it can do a lot of things that many programming languages cannot do. But uh, let's have a look at some of the Node.js modules. So HTTP is something that we already discussed in the previous chapter, where we created a very simple server, and that server was printing output in application JSON, or you can simply display output in text, HTML, or whatever you want, right? So you can display the output in your preferred uh, programming language. So we are running this server and this HTTP which is running on port 3000. So this is giving us this output. So let's copy this and print this. It is giving an output of hello world which is in HTML format. Okay. Since it is in HTML format, so let's try to write something like H2, which is a subheading, and let's see whether it will be able to print that. Obviously we have to stop and rerun it. You can see, so it is giving us output. Here you can see we are rerunning everything. Later you will also see how we can make changes and see the changes without stopping the execution and rerunning it. So that is something that we will deal later, but let's see other built-in modules. All the code will be here, so I will share the link of this code so that you can come and copy this code and paste it in your file and run it and test it from your end. The other module that is built in is the FS module, which stands for file system. The FS module provides an API for interacting with the file system. That means it will allow you to read, write, delete and manipulate files and directories. Okay, so let's see, we will copy this and let's create another file here. So here we will click on file and we will call it my file or my test.js. Okay, so we have created this my test and here we have simply pasted. So first we are creating a variable and we are requiring fs, which is our file system. Okay, the node.fs module enables interacting with the file system. That's what we read, and we want to read a file which is called example.txt. So let's create another file here which is example.txt, and in example.txt we can say hello from Slidescope. So in example.txt we have written something. Okay, and now my file test, so it will read the file. This is the encoding. Okay, and so in order to understand this fh.read file method, let's see, let's break it down so that you can understand this and you will also you will be able to create this also. So this following code is snippet is the example of how to read Node.js file, which we already know, using the fs.read file method from the file system module. So when we say fs.read file, obviously the syntax is here. Example.txt, in this method, the first parameter is example.txt. Second, you have to provide the encoding. Then we are also providing error and data. Okay, so example.txt UTF-8. This line is calling the read file function from the fs module to read the content of the file name example.txt. The method takes several arguments. Example.txt, as we said, UTF-8, this is the encoding format in which the file will be read. Specifying UTF-8 ensures that the file content is treated as a string, which is text. Without this encoding, the content would be returned as a buffer object, which is the raw binary data. So if you want to read text, you can make sure that you are using the UTF-8 encoding. The third argument is our callback function that handles what to do with the file data once it's read. Okay, so what to do when the file is read. Second, let's understand the callback function. The callback function is executed once the file read operation is completed. It takes two parameters. Okay, one is ERR, second is data. If there is an error, that means the file is not existing or not present, or it cannot be accessed because of some kind of uh, you know some kind of restriction in the user permission, the error object will be passed here. If there is no error, this value will be null. So you have to remember this. Second is data. If the file is successfully read, this parameter will contain the content of the file as a string because we specified the UTF-8 encoding. Then comes error handling. So let's see here. So if this error has some value, right? If error is there, so throw that error. Like what is the error? Console. Otherwise, on console you will log data. So this way you can write if error, throw error. Otherwise, write console.log data. Then writing to a file. Okay. So here this part is reading a file asynchronously, and this is writing to a file. fs.write file. Similar to read file, write file is also there, and it will write output.txt. Inside this file, it will write hello node.js. If then third is error. Okay, first is the file, second argument is your text that you want to write, and then third parameter is your error. If error, throw error. Otherwise, simply write the file has been saved. Okay, so we can see we have only created example.txt. Now let's stop this and we will run mytest.js. To run a particular file, you can type node and then you can type the name of this file, mytest.js. So you can see hello from Slidescope, and you can see a output file is created. Okay, file has been saved. So this way you can read and write a file, and you can see hello node.js. Whatever information we passed is now saved here. Okay, so this way we can create uh, on this way we can use the file system module, and we can read and write a file. I will simply close this, and instead of my test I will probably rename it to fs read write, so that when I will share this file with you, you can copy the code easily. Next, after file system, we have another built-in module, that is path module. The path module provides utilities for working with file and directory paths. It helps you format, resolve, and manipulate paths effectively. Example is we are creating a path which will require path. So let's copy this and create a file here and call it path test.js. So we are testing path here, path test.js. Okay, so we are requiring the uh, important concept here is because these modules are already there built in, so you don't have to import them. You can simply use them. You don't have to install or import them. So understanding this code is very easy. First, we have created path, so which will require path. Then we will use this path to join. Okay, so we are creating a variable join path. Okay, here, and we with this join path we will be joining three values here: users, node, and docs. Okay, so this is the meaning of this. So you can see the path module provides utilities for working with file and directory path. It helps you format, resolve, and manipulate paths effectively. Okay, so when you will do it like this, it will join, and on console you can log the join path. So it will be a string, and it will output users, node, docs. Okay, now second is you can also get the file extension. Okay, so with the file extension constant ext, which will return the extension, or which will save the extension, which we will print. So you can use ext name. Okay, so in path, first thing that you can see is join. Okay, so this join method join all arguments together and normalize the resulting path. Okay, and then you have ext name, so it returns the extension of the path from the last dot to end of the string. Okay, we already have this file example.txt, and again it will return the extension of this file. Okay, it will use dot as a separator. So we will log these two things. So again we will simply write node, and we will run path test dot js. When we will do this, it will give us this output. Okay, users node. So first it is giving us this. So you can see the way we have written it is different, but it is presenting us in a particular path manner, right? How a path is read in our computer. And second, it is giving the text. So this is what path can do. Obviously we are seeing some basic examples of these modules later. When you will build application, you can use these modules in very different type of works, but here you are just trying to understand what these extension or what these modules do. Fourth is the OS, or the operating system module. The OS module provides information about the operating system, such as the host name, the platform, the memory usage, and CPU information. So as you can see, it can interact with your CPU, and it can tell details of your CPU. So if you will simply create a file that says fsos, so it will tell you that your OS platform is, what is your free memory, what is your total memory. So let's copy this and create a file here, and we will call it os test.js, and let's paste it here. So this will on console it will write four things. Okay, so let's write node, and the name is os test.js. So you can see it is telling some details about this system. Okay, like what is the speed, times, user, nice, idle, whatever is there. So it is giving CPU information, processor information, OS platform, everything. Okay, so the methods that we are using here is os.platform, os.freeMemory, os.total memory, and os.cpus. Okay, in os.cpus returns an array of objects containing information about each logical CPU core. Okay, the array will be empty if no CPU information is available. The properties included like model, speed, times, user, etc. Next, we have events. So in events, this module provides an event emitter class, which is central to event-driven programming in Node.js. It allows you to create and handle custom events. Okay, so we can create an event listener. For example, emitter.on greet, and on console write hello node.js. Okay, so we are creating event emitter which will require events, and then there is constant emitter which will be our new event emitter, and the event uh, module provides event emitter class which will which is central to event programming in nodes. It allows you to create and handle custom events. So obviously we have to understand this code, right? What is it actually doing? So we have detailed breakdown of each part so that you can understand. First part is constant event emitter require event. This line import the event module which is built into Node.js. Okay, so this is very clear. This importing. The event module provides the event emitter class, allowing you to create and manage events and event driven programming. Okay, then we have const emitter is equal to new event emitter. So here this line creates a new instant of the event emitter class. We are creating an object, right, which we will calling emitter. This emitter object will be used to create event listeners and emit event. Then we will be creating an event listener. So emitter dot on. The on method is used to register an event listener. It listens for a specific event to occur, and when the event is triggered, the callback function associated with that event is executed. So it is waiting for events, something to happen. Okay, the on method is used to register, like it is registering, and then it will listen for a specific event to occur. First argument is greet. This is important. This is the name of the event you want to listen for. So whenever this greet event will occur, so in this case the event, obviously we are naming it, whenever this event will occur we will listen it. Okay, second argument is the callback function. It will be executed when the Greek event is emitted, and here it will simply print hello node.js to the console. Event listener breakdown. So in our code there are two parts, right? So let's copy that. Let's copy that code. Then here is simply emitting the event. What does emitting the event mean? The emitting the event is emitter.on sets up the listener for the greet event, the callback function, and here the event emission, emitter.emit. Emitter.emit, this line triggers the greet event because we have written emit greet. Okay, now it will look for what is greet doing, what is this event greet doing, and the event greet here is returning this function which is writing hello node.js on the screen or log. So the callback function is stored and it will be executed. Okay, so this is the full process flow, and we will understand why it is used, but let's first run it. So we will call node event yes. Hello node yes. Here you can see. In a way, it is like you are creating a function, and in your function you are returning something, some output, and then when you are calling the function, it is returning the same thing. Here we are giving the name as greet. So we are creating the event listener here. We are naming something, and then we are calling something. Let's say it is Kinju. Whatever. I don't know what is the meaning of this, but I am writing this. If we do the same thing, it will do the same. It's just you can create these. It's not just greet is something. It's just you can create these events, and then listen to these events. So it is very important that you follow this. The event emitter class is central to event-driven programming, which is commonly used in Node.js. This pattern allows you to build systems that respond to a various events synchronously. Okay, that respond to various events asynchronously. It's widely used in web servers where various events like HTTP request, errors, or data streams can trigger actions. Okay, so there will be various events, and these events can trigger some actions. And when these events are triggered, what actions to perform, we can define. So this is very important. Other modules like URL, crypto, query string, stream, buffer, timer, child, zlib, DNS. There are many such modules. So we will learn them in next class.